Hello, friends. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at nouns and just getting a general overview of nouns. So the word noun basically just means name. It actually comes from the same word where we get the word name. So a noun represented by the N with the little dot, if you look at the dictionary. A noun is a word for a person, place, thing, or an idea. Or we can say it's a name for a person, place, thing, or an idea. For example, here are some of the most common nouns in English: time, person, year, way, day, thing, man, woman, world, life. So time would be an idea, person would obviously be person, a year would be an idea or a thing, a way would be an idea or a thing, man and woman, those would be people, a world would be a place, life would be a thing. So in a sentence, the noun will normally go in three places. It will come before the verb as the subject. So if you look at this sentence, coffee is delicious. So I've got my noun, coffee, before my verb is. So here, coffee is the subject of the verb. Or a noun can come after a verb as the object of the verb. So if I look here, I drink coffee every day. Drink is my verb. And I see coffee over here. There's my noun. This is the object of drink. So what am I drinking? I'm drinking coffee. Or a noun can come after a preposition as an object of a preposition. So in this sentence, I don't put sugar in my coffee. Here's coffee over here, which is my noun. And I've got the preposition over here, in. So coffee is the object of the preposition in. If I look at this sentence, you'll also see that there's another noun, sugar, and then we have the pronoun I over here. I don't know why I put an S. That should be an N. So we can divide nouns into different kinds of groups. The first group we're going to look at is countable versus uncountable nouns. So when I say countable and uncountable, I mean, can we count it or can we not count it? So uncountable nouns are sometimes called mass nouns. For example, book is countable because I can say one book, two books, three books, four books, etc. So there's a plural form of the word, and I can put a number before it. But if I look at the word information, information is a noun, but I can't count it. I can't say one information, two informations, three informations, etc. If I wanted to count it, I would have to use another word, like a piece of information. We can count cups, but we can't count coffee. We can count cars, one car, two cars, three cars, but we can't count transportation. We can count hours, 3 hours or 4 hours, but we can't count time. You're probably thinking, yeah, we can count time. But if you think about it, we don't count the word time. If we want to count time, we have to use another word like hour or minute or second or days. We can count dollars, but we can't count the word money. We don't say one money or two money. We say $1 or $2. We can count necklaces, but we can't count the word jewelry. If I want to count jewelry, then I have to use some other word like necklace or bracelet or ring or a piece. Some nouns have both a countable form and an uncountable form. For example, would you like some coffee versus can I get 2 coffees, please? So here we got coffee and we have coffees. So if I say, would you like some coffee, I'm just talking about the substance, the beverage, the liquid coffee, right? I'm not counting it. I can't count it because it's a liquid. But if I say, can I get 2 coffees, please? Obviously here I'm meaning 2 cups of coffee. But rather than saying cups of coffee, I'm just saying coffees. Or how much experience do you have versus that interview was a terrible experience. So if I say how much experience do you have, here I'm talking about experience in general, not things that I'm counting. But if I say that interview was a terrible experience, I'm talking about one specific time in my life. Because you can have 2 experiences or 3 experiences. But if I talk about experience, that means all of the things that you've done related to something. But you can see the difference here just by looking at the word that comes before it. So the word much we use with words that are uncountable. The word a we use with words that are countable, because a just means one. Do you like football versus I don't even own a football? If I say do you like football, I'm talking about the sport. If I say I don't even own a football, I'm talking about the actual ball that you hold in your hands. So that I can count. Another group that we can divide nouns into are singular nouns and plural nouns. So if we look at the countable nouns, if a noun is countable, then it will have a singular form and a plural form. Singular meaning one, plural meaning more than one. Now with the singular and plural forms, with the plurals we have regular plurals and irregular plurals. So a regular plural would be one where we just add an S to it. So thing becomes things. Box becomes boxes. So here we're adding the ES ending. Day becomes days. Family becomes families, changing it to IES because of the Y. Now if you look at day and days, we didn't change the Y here. But if you look at family, we did change the Y here. Why the difference? The difference is, if we look here, we have a 1-syllable word with a vowel before the Y. If we look at families, we have more than 1 syllable. There's a vowel before the L, but an L is not a vowel. So if you look before the Y, we have a consonant. So here, if you have a vowel before the Y, we don't change the Y. If you have a consonant before the Y, then we change it to IES. That's the difference here. So if there's a vowel before the Y, it doesn't change. If there's a consonant before the Y, it changes to IES. Some words ending in O will have an ES, and some words ending in O will have just OS. Now, there's not really a clear rule when it's OS and when it's OES, so just pay attention to how it's written. These are all considered regular plurals. Now for irregular plurals, we usually see there's some kind of a vowel change in the word. So man becomes men, woman becomes women, person becomes people, which is a huge change in it. Child becomes children. Life becomes lives. Now this one we could say it is kind of regular, but the thing here is the FE changes to VE when it's plural. So we see this with words like knife, knives, life, lives, wife, wives, and other words. And then there are some words that the plural is the same as the singular. And this happens with animals like fish, fish, they're both plural. Deer, deer, they're both plural. Sheep, sheep, they're both plural. Then we can divide nouns into proper versus common nouns. And this affects the spelling of the word. So for example, if I say I go to university or I go to the University of Minnesota, if you look at the word university, in one sentence it's lowercase and in the other sentence it's capitalized. So when it's capitalized, we call it a proper noun. When it's not capitalized, we call it a common noun. So a common noun is just a general noun. A proper noun is a specific name for a person, place, or a thing. So in the first sentence, I go to university. We don't know which university it is. So this word, university, is not being used specifically. It's being used generally. So we call it a common noun. If you look at the second one, I go to the University of Minnesota. Here we're talking about a specific school. So we would capitalize the U in university if we're talking about, if it's the name of a specific school. If you say I swam in the lake versus I swam in Lake Superior, again, if you look at the lake, the L, in the first one it's not capitalized, but in the second one it is. So if I say I swam in the lake, lake here is used as a common noun. It's just a general lake. We don't know which lake it is. But if you say I swam in Lake Superior, here the word lake is part of the name, Lake Superior. Or if you say, do you follow the president on Twitter? Or did you see President Trump's tweet? Here, if you see the first one, president is not capitalized. In the second one, it is. So in the first sentence, they're using the word president as a common noun because you see, we don't know which president we're talking about. It's not part of a specific name. But if I say, did you see President Trump's tweet? You see the word president is coming before a name. So this is what we call a title. So if a word is being used as a title for somebody like President Trump or Mr. Anderson or Dr. Zhivago, then you're going to be capitalizing the word that's being used as a title. So this is just a brief overview of nouns. Thanks for watching.